Today, Travis and I are just outside of Johnson Valley, California with Ford Performance testing the 24 model year Raptor R as well as the F-150 Tremor. They made some revisions for this year and we're going to test them out today in their natural habitat on-road and off-road. We're going to go over some of the features on the Raptor R that changed for this model year, and we're going to see some changes on that Tremor that make it better off-road. Let's take a look. So as you know, the Raptor R was released in 2023, so just 1 year later, there's not a ton of revisions that they could have made, but the ones they made are very important. So starting off in the front, you can see that we have a little bit of an updated mid-cycle refresh front fascia. So we have new headlights, an updated grille, and down below, we now have forged tow hooks, which is a nice feature. If you do have to get pulled out, you do not want to shear one of those off. And encompassing that is a modular front bumper that you will also find on the Tremor just a little bit later. We still have our rigid lights here, our flares here, nice wide flares to fit these 37-inch BFG Goodrich KO2s. And then inside the wheel well is really where the magic happens. In addition to the compression adjustment found previously, we now have rebound adjustment thanks to the all-new dual live valve action shocks, as well as a shock computer tuned by Ford Performance themselves. We now have 2.5 degrees better on the CV angle, as well as a new steering ratio inside the steering rack, as well as more horsepower under the hood. 5.2-liter supercharged V8 producing that horsepower that we found previously, but with a better intake and a better exhaust manifold, we find those extra ponies. This remains the only supercharged V8 in the truck segment. This truck is amazing and I can't wait to get off-road with it, and we are going to see how this vehicle performs. So let's go out there and test these vehicles. Before the video gets too far, I wanted to address why this video might seem more choppy than normal, and that's because we had the intention of combining Raptor R and Tremor into one big video, but the Tremor ended up having more time, so we made a standalone video, leaving the Raptor R just a tad bit more choppy than normal. We also lost a GoPro out in the desert, so we lost some footage there as well, but I think we still have some good moments here in the Raptor R video testing out its capabilities. So go ahead, sit back, and enjoy the video.
We're starting our day in the Raptor R with the more technical portion. Just a little bit later, Nick will be behind the wheel and he'll be going as fast as he can wherever they'll let us. What I can tell you is, first thing you can see when you get in the truck is that there's a few features that are built in that make this a little bit easier to go faster and enjoy what you're doing. The first one for me is going to be the heads-up display, which gives you just enough information in the off-road mode to see your pitch, your angle, your speed, where the power is heading, whether or not you've got your lockers engaged. And all of this means that you can keep your eyes a little bit farther ahead, and that means you can go a little bit faster, at least in theory. Now, there are very few obstacles that this vehicle cannot overcome. And right now, we're going to be hitting really our first deeper sand. And the whole point here is to keep traction and to keep momentum. And part of this is done with the suspension, because the fact that the suspension can go ahead and keep your tires on the ground just about no matter what they run into is part of what makes this as capable as it does. It also doesn't hurt that we have 37-inch tires, because they're going to go ahead and give us all the grip that is humanly possible. But we're going here from sand all the way over to rocks, and those are two very different circumstances where luckily we have just enough technology and equipment here in this vehicle, not to mention power, to be able to get through just about all of it with very little concern. The biggest concern would be making sure you don't scratch things up too much, because this is not a cheap truck. Now, as we crest the hill here and start working our way down, one of the other features that is instantly noticeable is going to be your front camera, because this is a big truck. Not only is it wide, but it's also tall. And as I'm trying to navigate over some of these obstacles, mostly avoiding the larger rocks if possible, it's made just that much easier by this front camera. Now, this is going to be just about my best chance of letting this thing fly, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, because this 720 horsepower is meant to be used. And we are climbing in really loose sand, so you need to throttle out to get this thing going. Now, after a quick stylish wardrobe change, one of the things I noticed I haven't talked about much is the suspension, but that's because I haven't gotten to use it to its full extent. I'll use it here for a moment, but now I'll pass it off to Nick, because he's going to have a little better opportunity to share what this can do at its absolute limit.
All right, now we are in the high speed area. So we were just on the access road. They got us lined up, and as you can see, I'm cosplaying Buzz Lightyear, and so is Travis over here as passenger. But we are just gonna cruise down this road. This is just like the access to the actual track. Our speed limit on this road is 70 miles an hour. I'm only at 50 right now. And I'm hitting some of these whoops and modulations in the road, and there's also heavy ruts in this road. So it's pulling me kind of left and right. Steering feels very connected to those front wheels. And as you can hear, I'm in Baja mode, and it is, as you and a shift. There it is. You gotta let out the throttle a little bit. Cruising 5th gear, 63 miles an hour on this road. Heavy washboard, heavy modulation. And then there's just like little dips out of the road, just like right here, kind of side to side, finding the ruts, and it's just handling everything so well. It's just crazy to think this is a production vehicle that you can purchase. Now it is over $100,000, so it's definitely not a cheap vehicle, but the amount of power, the amount of suspension, and the amount of tech that you get packed into this vehicle is quite amazing. So now we're coming up to our left turn that's going to get us onto the track. I'm going to come to a gradual slow down. I'm not going to slam on the brakes just because there's no reason to. And also, this left turn, if you hit it wrong, there is a big hump that will toss you out of the turn. So now we're on the track. I may stop talking as much as I was because now we are in the whoops, the ruts, and also our first turn here. So first turn marked by that pink logo, and it's dancing around a little bit, but as soon as you correct it with the steering, it just follows exactly where we're going. This Baja mode is 4-wheel drive. The traction control is pretty much all the way off compared to off-road mode, as well as stability control. And like I mentioned, the 2024 Raptor R does have the dual valve shocks from Fox, produced in tandem with Ford. So you have compression and a rebound adjustment for first for the Raptor lineup. They've always had compression adjustment. Oop, kind of missed that corner. Back on track here. A little bit of a suspension unload. Big whoops, 1, 2, 3. Keeping our speed. The throttle is so touchy because of the supercharger's instant power. So you're gonna hear me hit bumps and that supercharger is gonna start whining. Last corner, or not last corner here, another corner, turn into this. We have heavy whoops right here out of the corner. So you wanna stay on throttle, never break into a whoop. That's how you end your day. Brakes into the corner. A little bit of washboard, handles fine, and this is where the ruts start getting heavy. They say that this is where some of the Ultra 4 trucks do come racing through during King of the Hammers and also testing. So we are trying to stay in the tracks and not up on the tracks, because that is where some damage happens. But see big berm on the right. It's handling everything insanely well. And we have 37-inch tires, so we are able to stay over that middle mound. Washboard, a little bit of a higher speed. There is one more marked corner, and then it's a couple of gradual corners, maybe 1 or 2 more marked corners. Coming down 54 miles an hour. It's just handling everything so well. Slow down for the corner. Throttle is your friend when off-roading like this, just because if you let off the throttle on a turn and you're dipping a little bit, there is a possibility of rolling the vehicle. So we have a little bit of a slight left right here. 48 miles an hour. Suspension unload. Handles it. Compression. We have a left turn here, and that's going to get us onto our straight where we can punch it and feel the power of this 5.2 liter V8. There's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. There's 100. Onto the brakes, onto the brakes. There's 100 off-road, people. Heavier whoops. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, off the brakes. And we are there. Woo!
We lost our main camera.
Oh no, not the main camera. Gotcha. All right, I apologize if that last camera angle did not work out. That camera vibrated itself off of the mount. So Travis has now fixed it. Luckily he grabbed onto it, so we might have to cut some of that out. But here we are back mounted onto the mount, and we are at the starting line of the autocross portion. So starting off, I'm gonna be easy on the throttle, and we have nice wide sweeping turns, and we can really test out all 720 horsepower. So first one, throttle, 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 stab the throttle, and coming back in, throttle, 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 and oh my God, this thing's got a lot of power. And last corner. And we come to a stop because we're gonna do a 0 to 60 on the dirt. So you can see that dirt flying past me. This thing kicks up all of that dirt. When you really get in that throttle, you hear that superchargers start whining like crazy, and it starts flinging the dirt like nuts. And we're out here on this dry lake bed, so it's definitely dusty. Once that dust clears, I'm gonna be on the brake, a little bit of throttle, and I'm gonna launch it. We can get 260 before the braking zone, and I'll be hard on the brakes, try to stop inside that box. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Second gear, third gear, there's 60, and hard on the brakes. Oh, we missed the box just a little bit, but oh my God, the traction of this thing. Whew, unbelievable. As you can see, I can't see nothing out front. And there we go. So that is gonna be for the high-speed section. We gotta get out of here, so I'm gonna go line back up. But this truck is absolutely unbelievable. Those dual live valve shocks, you have compression, rebound, and then just years and years of refining these Fox shocks with Ford and Fox. It's just absolutely unbelievable. 37-inch tires, the dual live valve shocks that are new for the 24 year on the Raptor R. This truck is unbelievable. That's not even talking about the power. The power is just, I don't know, it takes my breath away. It's almost too much power. I don't like to say that because power is, you always want more power, baby. So it was a lot of fun, man. Holy cow. 2024 Raptor R did not disappoint in the least bit on the high-speed section. In conclusion, the Raptor R blew me away off-road and really made me think about how good of a value of a truck it really is. At first, I thought that price tag is pretty nuts, thinking it's going to start at $110,000. But once I drove the vehicle on-road as well as off-road and really pushed its capabilities, I'm a fan. If I had the money, I would definitely buy one of these vehicles at $110,000 starting price, and you're probably going to be paying up towards $130,000, $140,000. I actually think it's a great value for this vehicle. Reason being, you get consumer luxury vehicle interior on the road as well as driving abilities, and then you go off-road and you get dang near trophy truck capabilities all wrapped into one vehicle. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about the Raptor R. Do you think it's a good value? Do you think they could change some things? Would you rather take an older TRX? Would you rather take a Chevy and modify it to your liking? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, because I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. That is going to do it for this video. My name is Nick with Auto Buyer's Guide. Until the next video, I will see you guys then.